Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for an Isuzu, and it's the Rodeo Denver LE. It's a 3-litre turbocharged, intercooled pickup truck with hard top on the back. Car's registered WD07HZZ, and the truck's covered 162,476 miles. The reason we do these videos is very simple indeed. We know to our cost just how frustrating it can be to go and see any vehicle and then to get there to find out it's got a fundamental problem which either wasn't described in the advert or told you before setting off. So that's why we do it. So it is critical in that sense. It's also done on the road test route any prospective buyer would go on, so hopefully then it's representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in it. The truck itself, as you know from the advert, it's actually had just 2 owners from new, which is very rare indeed, and there's no VAT applicable on the sale of this vehicle. It's been serviced, I think from memory, 12 times, pretty much bang on all the way through, so very well cared for vehicle, and it isn't your typical pickup truck. We've sold many over the years, actually went through a phase of selling quite a few, and they do vary so much. You get the ones which have clearly been used for heavy commercial use on building sites where everything's damaged inside, cement dust everywhere, or farm ones where they're pungent to say the least, but this one, it is definitely been used for family use more than anything else. In fact, I know it has, because that's another chap, what he told me at least anyway. But you can see from the way the interior has been kept, it isn't perfect, but it's lovely for one of these, and certainly on the age of the truck and the mileage it's done it amazingly well. So going through the mechanical bits for you. Engine starts absolutely instantly and settles to a smooth, even idle. Typical of the breed, pulls with real guts. It's agricultural to say the least compared to modern diesels, but I think it's all the better for it. It really is a really honest diesel engine, and it pulls absolutely brilliantly. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all, by the way, relating to the engine or any other part of the truck. And temperature gauge is running at just under half, which by all accounts is exactly where it's meant to be on one of these, so all in fine order there. Clutch on it, absolutely spot on. Bike point's good, engagement's good, slick and positive in actuation. Gearbox, again, 5-speed gearbox, all the gears engage really nicely. It's not a car-like gearbox, but it's exactly as it would have been when it was new. Very positive in its selection. Gate is still good. The gear synchro mesh on all the gears, absolutely spot on. So coming to the steering of the vehicle, again, all really good and tight. It feels really solid on the road. I test drove it last night prior to doing the part exchange. We always do to check them first, but I was very impressed. I was expecting something with the age and mileage and the type of vehicle it was to feel quite loose and vague, but it isn't. The steering's really tight and taut on it. Feels very positive. The whole car, or the whole truck, feels incredibly tight. It doesn't feel like a vehicle of this age or mileage. It really doesn't. Say it clearly been very, very well looked after. It tracks dead straight. There's no vibrations. I've not got any great speed, of course, but certainly up to the legal limit. There's no sort of wobbles or vibrations coming back through us at all. Suspension, again, very, very tight on the road. It isn't a sports car, I'm not going to pretend it is, but it rides really well. There's no nasty clunks or bangs coming from underneath the vehicle. Worth pointing out that in a couple of days' time, actually, the truck's going to go through a brand new MOT, which is done independently of us. We've got no input into it at all, so all these things will be checked. Let's get around the corner and give the brakes a bit of a shove. I know they're good, I tried them last night, but just to show you them. Just wait to get around the corner. There we go, just give her a nice shove. But it's a good positive brake pedal on the vehicle. What I'm looking for is I just don't want to no sort of nasty sort of fluctuations or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, and there isn't any, so all good in that sense. So coming to the interior, as I said, it's been kept really, really well in here. You know, it doesn't feel like the miles in here either. All the plastics are good. There's no creaks, no rattles. Very, very solidly put together vehicle, I have to say. You know, when we sold the pickups, we were predominantly selling things like L200 Navaras and the Hiluxes. And I'd have to say this is definitely a cut above the L200 Navara in terms of the build quality and the feel of mechanical integrity on the truck. And it's not far off the Hilux, in all honesty. I can't separate them hugely in terms of how well built it feels. Everything seems to work really nicely. I've not checked every last thing. I'm not going to pretend I have. The only thing I can definitely say partially works is the blower. On 012 it doesn't seem to work. I put it on 4, it comes out and it's ice cold air, so it is, the air conditioning is obviously working very well indeed. But that is the sum total of what I can find on it, I've got to be honest. So all in all, a really, really nice truck that's been very well looked after and very different to the majority out there, I'd imagine, as well. As always though, if you've got any questions, because we've got a huge dossier of bills and receipts and invoices that the chap kept when he, so if there's any information you might need and I don't know the answer to off the top of my head, I'm happy to look into it for you.